Guys, my name is Christine and I will be with you for today's session. I'm live from Gloucester. Don't be fooled by the weather. It looks sunny, but it's going down to -6 tonight, so it's going to be really cold. Well, guys, today we are going to look at what do you prefer, public transport or private vehicles, and why. So let's start off with Arush. Arush, please don't be watching anything else in the background whilst I'm talking to you. So Arush, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your day, and then move on to today's question.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My name is Arush Kumar. I study in class 5F. My school name is Delhi Public School, University, Kolkata. And my favorite hobbies are playing, singing, and dancing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Arush, can you tell me, first of all, what did you do with your day? Let's start from there.
Yes, ma'am. Today, first I woke up in the morning at 6 o'clock. Then I went to school. Then I came back at 4 o'clock. Then I joined 6:30 to 7:30 online classes. Then I joined your class now.
Okay, thank you very much. And can you tell me, Arush, what do you prefer? Do you prefer public transport, or do you prefer a private vehicle, and why?
Yes, ma'am. So I prefer private only because in private it is more comfortable than public. Especially you can use the trains of public and metros because that is more hygienic in India, but the train is not that much hygienic. But in Kolkata, the metros are too good. Like it goes very fast, and I also traveled from my home to a mall. Actually, the way from my home to the mall, if I go by private transport, so it would take me at least 30 minutes, half an hour. So when I use my metro, I reach very early. So public transport is also good. Private transport is more good than the public one because if in India, if you come and if you use the electric bus is good. You can come to Kolkata. Here electric bus is available. So in electric bus there is no rush. Everything is good. And when you travel in local buses, I have a very big problem because sometimes whenever I have went with a father somewhere any far, I went with him some universities also with him. So when I was going, just 1 or 2 weeks ago, I went to IIM Calcutta. When I was going, I saw a bus like it was almost like if it will go, if it takes a bit break also na, the bus will fully get accident because the bus was slightly slanting and everyone was trying to push in the public transport. In India, the public transport it is like this only. So if you use the electric buses, no rush, you can go with peace.
Okay, so there is
private. Yes, ma'am. So you can use the trains and the buses, but I prefer you can use the electric buses in India because the normal local buses take like they will make you congested. Lot of people go standing holding the handles which are given. So you should travel in the electric bus if you come to India anytime.
Okay, but an electric bus is public transport. What about private, a private vehicle? How long does it take?
Ma'am, in private vehicle, I prefer you can. Yes, ma'am. So in private, it is more comfort if you go somewhere, like nearby in your area only. I mean, like in West Bengal, there are a lot of cities. So if you go there by this private transport, so you can feel a bit comfort. But if you go by the public transport to some cities, so you need to do a lot of struggling.
It's a more of a struggle to go.
Yes, ma'am. In India, but I don't think so. I have also lived in foreign. I like the facilities. There also buses were not too much rush like in India. like same in the electric bus in India, you can have peace. So like there in foreign, when I was in Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
still there was no rush. Everything was okay. And I used to have an ID card which I used to wear, and I entered the bus, so I got my balance zero. But that doesn't matter. So mostly we use these private public transports only.
No, not
We
not private public, not
yes,
private or public, because you're
yes.
getting me confused now. Which you prefer? Do you prefer private or do you
I
prefer
prefer
public?
both, but in public, I prefer only trains and planes.
Okay, because they are faster and more comfortable.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but when you're in India and you're going to the city, which one do you prefer most?
Ma'am, I prefer the metro and the and your private car, by private transport.
So you can't prefer both. You have to choose one. Which would you prefer? Would you prefer a public transport or
Ma'am,
private?
mostly comfort, it can take you in your private transport only.
Okay, for comfort reasons, you would prefer the private
Yes, ma'am.
vehicle. Okay,
Yes.
be careful, okay? Because you were going private public, and I was like, what? Okay, so really be careful when you're with your definitions, okay? This is public transport, this is private. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Like I have traveled mostly in private only when I shifted to India.
Mhm.
My father used to say, "Don't you can use here the public transports, but you just use the electric bus and the metro because these two you can feel a bit peace and and your private transport."
Okay. Thank you
And
very
like
much, Ari.
and like ma'am, in private transport there is one more very big reason. If you have a car, if you have any transport, you need to park that.
Yes,
And in
that is true.
public, you don't need to do anything, just step on and step out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, thank you very much, Arush.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so let's have a look at Ananya. Ananya, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your day?
Yes. Hi, Christine. Hi, everyone. My name is Ananya, and I'm currently pursuing my MBA from ICFI Business School, Hyderabad. And
Mm-hmm.
my day was normal. Last time when I spoke to you guys, I said I was not going home for this weekend, but because I was not well. But fortunately, the next morning I felt a little better and I just, rushed to my home. I wanted some homely cooked food and I enjoyed my weekend. I rested for some time and I'm feeling better now. And also today I had classes since the morning and I had to attend all of them. And we have two papers tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow is going to be a hectic day. I can definitely imagine how it is. And after this meeting, I'm gonna just open my textbook and just study and revise for the same. Yes.
Excellent, very good. Okay, so what about you? Do you prefer public transport or a private vehicle, and why?
Yes, Christine, I think always I have been a person who wants privacy and security at the same time because these are two different things and you have to I'm that kind of a person. I want to be respected on both of these things. So I think yes, public transport wouldn't give me such kind of a opportunity. So yes, I would always go for the private transfer. And whenever I travel anywhere, whenever I travel solo, even, I always prefer the private transfers because I feel like, yes, this is kind of secure and I can have my own pace of moving from one city to another or sightseeing. I can just be comfortable with my own car. So, yes, I would definitely go and vote for private transfer rather than the public transport.
Okay, excellent, excellent, very good. And what about you and your driving? Does it give you any stress, especially finding parking? Does it make you sometimes question whether you should use the public transport?
Yes, so I know driving, but I don't usually drive. I have my driver within India whenever I want to visit some place. He drives me there, and
Mhm.
even if I don't want to go with my driver, I have my cousins and my friends, those who really usually travel with me. So I travel with them. They know driving and they drive really good. So whenever there is a kind of parkings or some kind of a thing, I think it's easy. When you're traveling with someone, it becomes really easy. You can, I think, it's a huge place you can drive in. And also nowadays, Google has that system. They always, tell you that this road is crowded and this road is mildly crowded and this road is free. So you can definitely choose your routes according to your preferences. It also saves your time as well as it doesn't stress you up at all while, parking and stuff. So I think parking is not a problem for me. It might be different for other people, but it's not a problem for me or any of my friends also. But sometimes, as we know, India is a very crowded country, and everywhere we go, there are tons of people, waiting in a queue or, crowding the whole road. But it's fine. When you know the situation, you always have to find solution rather than, creating the circumstances that let other people question it. So when it comes to solution, I think we find an alternate road or alternate route to reach our destination rather than, going into the crowded places and stuff.
Okay, and how do you feel about India's driving situation?
I think yes, India's driving situation has been a little worse than what it was before, because nowadays, as we know, youth is driving the force, and we people, I would definitely consider myself also. We people are least conscious about what is the speed and what's gonna happen next. We
Mhm.
are in a rush, we are in a hurry, we want to reach our destination as soon as possible, be it any way your your speeding limit is crossed or something like that. But we should generally keep that in mind, that somebody who loves us dearly is waiting and praying for us at our homes. So I think the youth needs to understand that driving rash driving is not really good, and it is not only it's not only causing problem to your family, because you don't know what is going to happen next. You are facing the accident or not, but the person you are hitting, that person's family is also equally affected. So always think of the two things, because I lost one of my friend in this rash driving, and it was 2 years back during COVID. Just the COVID started, and
Mhm.
these all things happen. Already there was a lot of chaos in the society about the COVID situation. And if you are you are a single son, and he was the only child of his parents, and unfortunately he was rash driving, and he got into an accident and we couldn't save him. So I think that's the only thing. I always think that if you're not good at something, you shouldn't really try it. You try it in your own pace, be slow, and just get out of that fear and go to the road only when you are completely ready with your driving and all. You do not have to go and test there, because the situation in India is really not good, because the accident rates have been increased. But eventually, the government of India is really working hard to establish all the safety norms which can be followed by all the Indians in the road. So I think we hope that in future the accident rates would definitely come down, and people, those who own their private vehicles, would be safe and sound and reach home sound. So I think, yeah, we are working on it. Let's see.
Excellent, very good. Okay, thank you very much, Ananya. Let's move on to Raj Shri Keshri. Hi, Raj Shri.
Hello, Christine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, Raj Shri, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your day?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Rajshri from Bihar. I'm working under Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, and with NCW. So I am working for the violated women, violence against women, and provide counseling and legal aids and so many things with police help and advocates and stakeholders. Yeah, and my day was the normal because I was on leave. That's why I didn't do any work of the office. So yeah, that's my day. And
Okay.
come on the top.
And
Yeah,
yesterday's question, please.
yeah, yeah. Question. Yeah. When I started my job and before my job, I was using the public transport because I didn't have any vehicle and private transport or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that time I was using the public transport for every time. Yeah. And after that, the lockdown. Yeah. In 2020, I purchased my vehicle, but I didn't use due to not the finishing driving, riding scooty and anything. So I was just learning. I was just learn the scooty, but not using on the road. That's why I never used to ride anywhere, any places. So after the lockdown, 49 days, yeah, my office was not working 49 days. After that, the policing was very strict in India. That time, the lockdown was continue, but my was going on. That's why I have to go my for my office and everywhere. But the problem was like there was no transport and using going anywhere for anything. Yeah, for market, for purchasing grocery, vegetables, fruits, anything. That
Mm-hmm.
was nothing. That time I was using the scooty. That time I practiced lot and lot. That after that I was using. So I used the scooty mostly for the only for the office. Yeah, only for the office, just because it is urgent for me. Yeah, that place I'm not wasting my time for going anywhere. Yeah, and after that, like everyone using the train, metro, buses for everywhere, going out of city and everywhere, because I haven't any car and anything. That's why I using the public transport. And I mostly use the public transport for going market and anywhere, visiting anywhere like Ola and the Uber and any cabs, taxi,
Mm-hmm.
anywhere for visiting, for the roaming and anywhere. That time I used the public transport because I felt कि if I using the public transport, someone I feel I fulfill the needs of the someone. Yeah, that someone is using the public transport and are came in in my office, and they are always feel like I'm riding the auto for my daily basis and everything. That's why mostly most of the time I use the public transport for their basis and for their help, for their needs. Yeah, yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christine.
Okay, next we have Lijol. Hi, Lijol.
Hello, Christine. Hi.
Hi, Lijol. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your day?
So my day was pretty normal, I'd say, with the classes. And after that, as Ananya said, we have two papers. So currently we're sitting in the library and studying for it. So just came out of it and to attend the meeting and all.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just studying. Few of my friends are waiting after the meeting. I'll help them to study as well. So yeah, it is pretty much basic. And coming down to the question of the day, um, I often use public transport
Mm-hmm.
instead of private ones because, like, whenever it is very much needed, like, if it is not that necessary to use a like, to use a private transport, I generally do not prefer using it. The reason being, First of all, there is a huge traffic when it comes to private transport.
Mhm.
The place which you can reach in metro by 10 to 20 minutes or by bus by 30 minutes would take you more than an hour to reach in a private vehicle because of a dense traffic. And then there is something regarding to the pollution. I know till the moment I can avoid my private transport, at least one car would at least lead down to the pollution level. Like doing a carpool or something is also that I often prefer to. Like we friends normally, if we all are going out, either I'll take my car and go away and pick all them up so that we can use just one car instead of four cars. So carpooling is something that I generally prefer doing. And other than that, until and unless it is very required that I need to be very urgent to reach somewhere, or I have a lot of luggage, or I'm with my family and we're going somewhere where we need the transport, in which sometimes the public transport is not feasible from going one place to another. That is a time when, in fact, my family also prefers taking the public transport more. And somehow during the cabs as well, like I'll personally say, like there are very interesting stories you can see in public transport. Like certainly if you say someone sits beside you, there have been instances that people tend to often talk to you because how long can they be quiet, and you try to interact with people. So that is like, I'm a social person, I love to talk, so you generally find someone to just talk by and pass the
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
you know the people more, you know the place more as well. Like currently in Hyderabad, I'll say, I generally do not prefer taking cabs or something because at the first thing, my place is too far. And perspective of women, I'll say from my safety regards, like sitting alone in a cab, if something happens, I can't run out. But in a public transport, one touch, I can scream and people will know about it. So in that perspective, I think that I'll often take a scooty for myself that I'll ride and go, or I'll book a bike, or I'll take a metro, or I'll take a bus. But I do not generally prefer taking cabs that too alone because I just have this constant mind that where will he go, like from the back seat, how will I jump, or what will I do if he locks the door or something like that. So that is and often I feel public transport. mm, yeah, I know the public transport in India is not that good, but there is something that I've seen, like back in Odisha. It is not one of the most developed states of India, but it is a very developing. Like, right now, it is in the road of development. Right now, we are having the world international hockey over there. So I have seen the public transport growing folds, and the public routes being the buses, like in back in Odisha we have the Mo bus, in which you can easily transport. You have the app, you just wait for 5 minutes, you get a bus, and they're AC, they're even the non-ACs, they're very clean. There are normal buses as well, like the private ones, but these government initiatives, and over in Telangana as well, I'm seeing that metros are so good. I just fell in love with the metros, and public transport are also not that bad. It is okay. Like if you want to, you can. And being honest, sometimes it is more fun, rather than just for me being a person who love to, I love people around me. So it is okay. You tend to listen a lot of new things, different things, and you don't generally get bored. If it is a longer journey, you will get bored if you do not have anyone in a company with it. And yeah, I definitely go for a drive or something if I want that, peace in my mind or something like that. I'll just go on a drive and enjoy the drive for myself. But rather than that, I often prefer. And then also, I have this perspective ki if I can reach a place with bare minimum rupees, matlab, in a comfortable manner with a less amount of rupees, why should I spend more for that exact same thing? That too, that is not just the actual cost, but also the incremental costs that are other added. Like there is this fossil fuel, there is this toll gate tax, there is this petrol that I have to fill. So I
Okay.
feel that is an unnecessary expenditure I will do rather than I can save that money and do something else.
Okay.
So I always prefer that, I'll say.
Good. Excellent. Thank you very much, Lizelle.
Thank you so much.
Okay, last but not least, we have Pulomi Chatterjee. Can you please introduce yourself and move to the questions, please?
Yeah, hi Christine. My name is Paulami Chatterjee, and I'm doing MBA from ICFI Hyderabad. And my day was pretty good. We had a hectic schedule starting from the morning till evening. Had classes, and as said by my fellow friends, we have 2 papers tomorrow. So I'm studying with that with no rest. And yeah, I know tomorrow will be hectic again. And talking about today's topic, which shall I choose? Like, shall I go with private or public transport? My preference always goes to private because, like, since childhood, there has been very less number of times I have been into public mode of transport, except like very less number of times. But taking in the concern of our ecosystem and earth, so people, rather than choosing comfort, should go for private public transport, because what happens, the pollution level increases, and people, even though they do have a healthy lifestyle, gets into contact in numerous form of diseases just because of the pollution and the pollutants which are present in the air. So it is very, it should be a very practical approach for people, especially a generation like us, to approach public transport, because um, if each and every one of us take out our cars or motor vehicles to the roads, then there will be no space, and think about the pollution we will have on daily basis. So my personal preference will be private, but taking in concern of the environment, I would choose public transport to travel.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christine.
Okay, so today we have discussed the differences between what we prefer, really. Do we prefer public transport or private vehicle? And there have been many issues today that we spoke about. We spoke a bit about the situation in India and what's the traffic like. And we also moved into, obviously, our preferences. And some of you said they like the private vehicle because it offers comfort. But some of you also said that public transport also offers some comfort. Arish was arguing this quite a bit about the electric kind of transport, of public transport. And he said that it's very comfortable as well as flying. But then we moved on to some other issues apart from finances, which are it's usually more convenient financially to pay for public transport. In some countries, it's really cheap. In some countries, it's not so cheap, unfortunately. But in India, it seems to be quite cheap. And we also looked at from an ecological perspective, to help the environment, we should use more public transport. So it's nice to have a look at the different pros and cons of each. And thank you very much for sharing your opinions and preferences. And I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. We have a new student, Akriti Banerjee, just joined. Hi, Akriti. Hello.
Hello, is my voice audible?
Yes, your voice is audible. The class just finishes now, but I have just 2 minutes. If you could just introduce yourself and tell us which you prefer and why, very briefly, please.
Ma'am, I guess I have joined a different link because I haven't chosen anything.
Okay. Well, Akriti, I hope to see you again tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you guys for joining, and I look forward to hearing from you all tomorrow. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.